Hello. Marcy Ben from Think Premium JA. Just in association with IslandNet, of course. Just a quick overview as to why your business, if you're a large company, could benefit from having private data services. Now, granted, in Jamaica, when we say large company, it's a little bit different from, let's say, in the US, where the typical definitions for a large company, you know, wouldn't really match the Jamaican reality. So when I say a large company, I'm gonna first start off by saying that, let me just give my explanation here as to what I mean by a large company. Now, if I'm talking about a large company, I'm talking about a company here in Jamaica that they have at least like multiple branches, at least 1,000 to 2,000 employees, and they tend to have a fairly notable presence across a wide variety of parishes or towns, right? So they're known, and because of the size in that they have at least 1,000 to 2,000 employees, and they have multiple branches, they're able to do certain things. Like, for example, they're able to benefit from economies of scale so that they can buy things in bulk. They're often using a lot of cloud-based applications. Time is an issue for them. You know, regulatory compliance is also way more crucial because they're bigger, they have way more to lose, and of course they're way more hack. They're very attractive to hackers. They're like that hot girl in a bar, and the hackers are definitely the guys who are looking. Yeah. So they are pretty much a hacker's like wet dream, if you will. They're definitely eye candy for hackers. So because of that, they do have to be careful. They have a lot more to lose, to be honest, because if, let's say, you're a company that has over 1,000 to 2,000 employees, that means you have a lot of customers. You're bringing in good money on a on a monthly or even a daily basis. So because of that, um, you really have to know what you're doing in terms of sharing information across your company. And I don't know, I'm going to be very honest with you. Sharing information across the internet, if you're that big, really isn't going to cut it. Because the reality of the situation is, correspondence over the internet can get hacked. It can get hacked. Especially if you're sharing information across multiple locations on a consistent basis. You're sharing it by email, for example. Shoot, look how much time you send an email to a wrong person. Come on, you put in a typo in an email and you send it off. You don't think it's easy for the wrong information to get to somebody, like, for really reals? So you really want to have some security measure in place to protect your information. And private data allows you to share information across a secure channel, whether it's over the internet or not, between more than one location. So you have a head office, and information is shared from the head office to somewhere else within the company network. So large companies, all this being said, large companies tend to invest in private data for several reasons. One, the competitive advantage that it offers. Now, private data, it can actually provide like insights that give companies like a competitive edge, if you will, because you can, since the information centralized, you can put in measures in place where, let's say, there's a portal where customers are entering information. You can easily aggregate that to analyze customer behavior, assess market trends, and really just like gather other proprietary data to help the company to make more informed decisions and stay ahead of competitors. So, for instance, you can see that, let's say you're a bank, customers who use an ATM in a particular gas station tend to have accounts in a particular city. You might want to put in another ATM in that city so you can get even more customers coming in. Or, remittance services tend to come from people in a particular address. You might want to put up a remittance site in that area where there are a lot of customers who have a particular address to add more value to people. Or, whatever your thing is. But that's just an example. So a big company isn't just a big office space. We're actually talking multiple office spaces with up to 1,000 to 200, 1,000 to 2,000 employees. So, product development is also a benefit that you can get through private data as well, because you can use the information gathered through private data to now develop new products and services that can better meet your customer needs. Because, let's say, going back to the same banking example, by analyzing the customer feedback that's gathered through the relevant portals, for instance, or the behaviors, you can identify opportunities in the market for innovation. Let's say, even like at a setup for an event or whatever, in order for customers to perform a particular service, you have to enter certain demographic information like forms, etc., about the customer. If you're able to compile that information and aggregate it, you can actually use that same information to come up with different products or services. You might realize that customers use ATMs in a particular way, so you might want to add on a new feature in the ATMs. Like, for example, if they're using it to just pay NWC and JPS bills, you might want to add in a feature where they can pay their car insurance or their home insurance or their mortgage. I don't know. I'm just giving some examples here, right? So you can use it to come up with more things. Or if you realize that customers tend to do a lot of savings towards like real estate transaction deposits, like you have to have your deposit in order to buy a home or a piece of land, right? Or even space or business, you do tend to need a deposit if you're getting a mortgage. For that, you can put in different products or services to help your customers better by analyzing the information that you are able to ascertain through private data if your business is utilizing that properly. So that's an advantage that you can get. And by having that private data being used, you can also use it to now create more tailored marketing and advertising strategies. For example, with private data, you can use it to target specific marketing or advertising efforts, because you know who your customers are. You know what the age ranges are. You know what the age range is most likely going to be into, what they're most likely using the money for, different activities for. You know what their life cycle, their customer life cycle is at that point in time. You know how they're using the products or services on a day-to-day basis, month-to-month basis, week-to-week basis, how much they're usually consuming, all that kind of stuff, right? So you are now able to set up your marketing, whether it's your social media ads, your billboards or lack thereof, radio ads or lack thereof, advertising in the newspaper or lack thereof, based on the different demographics that you're trying to hit. And it increases the likelihood of conversion, because the more pointed your marketing efforts are, the more likely you are to get results. So that's something. Another benefit that you can get through private data that people don't really talk about is operational efficiency. Like with the private data, you can actually improve your operational efficiency by getting real-time production information and analyzing it. So you can use it to now assess your supply chains, where you're getting supplies from, how often you're running out, how often you have to restock, what do you keep needing to restock on, are there any wastage. You can use it to assess employee performance. How are certain sales reps doing month over month, week over week? How is this information being processed? What's being done to reprimand certain behavior? Who's been coming late? Who's been coming early? So you can use this to now make really informed decisions. And it also helps you as a company to now identify areas for improvement and implement changes to increase efficiency and even reduce like wastage or other things that can cause an increase in your cost. So for instance, with your private data, depending on how it's set up, like let's say it's done on your internet connection, for example, let's say a virtual private network, you can assess who's going on what devices, who's wasting the internet, who's using the company laptops to go stream movies. I will say no more. And this is just an example, right? There's also risk management as well. But on a serious note, we all know that one coworker that's streaming movies during work hours. We all know that one core. Or 5. I'm just saying. I'm minding my business. It's fine. There's also risk management as well. So with private data, you can actually use it to assess or mitigate certain risk because again you have access to this real-time information that's being shared across the different locations. So for instance, let's say I don't know, you have a car rental, right? You have multiple locations. If you know that by December, April, June, people come down for the big holiday season and so you gotta always run out of cars. Right then and there, so you want to make sure so you're buying at least a certain number before, a couple months before, so you have time to add it on the fleet. You're updating the fleet, so when that time comes, your cars are up to date. Plus, you're also using that information to now avoid the risk of not having enough cars during the busy season by following up on the people who've been sitting down on your cars for a long time. Sitting down and not returning your cars for a long time. So you want to follow who's been extending their lease, who has been returning the cars damaged, how many times are you getting damaged cars, how many customers are returning the cars on time and maybe giving a discount for people who return their cars on time or early or something. You want to put things in place to incentivize people, especially closer to the time where it's going to get busy, so you have a steady supply of vehicles coming in. Also, even hiring additional washermen or mechanics to ensure that the cars are in working order before that busy season. Assessing if you have any used cars that you need to sell, how many of them in the used car lot are good enough to be rented out in the event that there's a busy season and you don't have enough vehicles, which customers you want to prioritize based on how often they come by so that you don't run out of cars, and those people in advance say I'll fit them car put down on lock when they come, so it's not an issue, like things like that. Like you want to use private data in that way, and that can really help your business. So if you're like a large company, that can really help drive innovation. And even with large companies, you can be a large company but have multiple branches in multiple regions. So just because you have a couple branches here in, let's say, Jamaica, but you have several branches in Turks and Caicos or Bahamas or etc., you can still be a large company. It's just that you don't have a lot of branches in Jamaica. So the example can still apply as well. Hope this helps. Alright, so again, with private data, it's more than just sharing information. Investing in private data can really help to drive innovation, improve your company's decision making, increase your company's efficiency, managing risk more efficiently, and really contribute to like long-term success and growth for your business. If you really want to learn more, IslandNet offers private data services, so we can help your business to establish a virtual private network, which can be set up as a private tunnel over your internet connection or a software-defined wide area network. Again, it's a group of computers dispersed over across a wide geographical area that is linked together using a software that really allows them to get connected to each other by sharing information over the internet. There's a multiple MPLS, that's another one as well. And with the MPLS now, that's really a protocol that's used to create like private networks of the internet that prioritizes traffic for improved performance and reliability by connecting multiple locations within a company's private network using the relevant cabling and software, but it doesn't go on the internet. So that's something. Because like some companies use like fiber to help with their MPLS, like a fiber connection, or some might use like EIA too. And there's like virtual private LAN service that we do, VPLS. We do that as well. And that's like a local area network that is operated across a wide local area, and it allows multiple locations in a wide local area to appear as if they're in the same local area network, but they are connecting like geographically dispersed offices. So let's say like in Kingston, St. Andrew, it might have 4 locations. They're connected to each other using a virtual private local area network. So even though the locations aren't physically connected, they're still connected virtually using that method. Yeah, along with many other services. Because I mean, we can also do your setup for events as well. So, for instance, a bank, you can use the MPLS setup for an event or activity if you need to share information across head offices and update customer information real time. Hope this helps. If you want to learn more about how private data can benefit your business, DM me and I can totally help you with that. And also helping you to get a free quote as to how IslandNet can help your business with that as well. Like, share, comment, and subscribe if this video added value to you. Again, I'm Marcy Ben from Think Premium JA in association with IslandNet. And if this video did add value to you, I want you to share with me this message in the comments. My data is my advantage. Again, if this message added value to you, comment down below and say that my data is my advantage. Yes. Have a wonderful day. Again, Marcy Ben from Think Premium JA in association with IslandNet. Take care and remember to never stop dreaming. Bye-bye.